All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are so glad to have you here with us today. Welcome to Bloomerang Academy. Thank you for joining us. We're hoping that you're in a wonderful, lovely location. So if you could just share with us where you're joining us from and what the weather is like there, we would love to see that in the chat. So let us know.
Well, I won't put it in the chat. I'll just say that Brendan and I are in Central Florida, and the weather is great, and everything is calm and very, very sunny.
Kimberly, we are so glad to hear that. You've been through plenty, so it's lovely that you have some good weather. I see, yeah, Lakeland, 85 and beautiful.
Oh, Conejo Valley, yeah.
Lovely. Oh, we've got some good locations. Warm, breezy 72. I know Indiana has been just really getting some lovely weather. 69 here in Indy right now. So
I'm wondering what Elkhorn, Wisconsin is. Aren't they starting to get chilly up there?
I'm thinking they are. She may have to give us some more information on that. That's awesome. 78. Oh, well, I'm glad you all are staying in to join us today, even though it's beautiful where you all are. So thank you for that. We're going to go ahead and get started. If you should, for any reason, need the audio dial-in number, maybe you have translation needs or maybe your audio drops out, the number is 1-669 900 6833, and I will drop that into the chat in just a little bit here in case you need it. Now, a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. You may notice on your toolbar that we have an area for the live transcripts. If you should want to have subtitles on or have the live transcript going, please click on that. It should be able to provide that for you. All right, we have our chat is a great place to share ideas like we're doing right now. We're sharing all about our weather and our locations. But if you have a question that you really want to ask the panelists today, we have Brendan Smith helping us with questions today, or if you want to ask Kimberly to answer something live, you'll want to put that in the Q&A section because that's where we're going to be more likely to see it. The chat can get kind of busy sometimes, and if it's a specific question, it's better to put it there for us. All right, other housekeeping items. The resources mentioned in this session will be linked in the resources slides or somewhere at the end of the session. So all of the resources will be shared with you. So don't worry about trying to write down links or anything like that as we're going today. We're going to be sharing the slides and the recording of this session later today within 24 hours. So be looking for that as well. Any questions that not able to get to today, we will definitely follow up after the session. So please don't worry about that. And if you need any further assistance from the Bloomerang perspective, this is where you can go to get that. So I'm leaving that in here. So when you get the slides, you'll have that. And our support team is amazing. So don't hesitate to reach out if you need more support. Without any further ado, I am going to turn this over to the amazing Kimberly Funk, who is going to be walking you through Qgiv and Bloomerang and the end of the year fundraising made easy. So Kimberly, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, well, thank you, Marjorie. Amazing. That was such a nice intro. I feel like I need to talk to you every day. So hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on year-end fundraising with a special focus on Giving Tuesday. As was mentioned, my name is Kimberly Funk. I'm the channel marketing manager at Qgiv, which means that I work on all the marketing channels involving our partners like Bloomerang and our major accounts. I've been with Qgiv just over 2 years. Prior to joining the team here, I've worked in marketing in some pretty fun and interesting industries, everything from financial, entertainment, solar, franchising, but most importantly now, nonprofit technology. On a personal note, I am a dog mom to 4 St. Bernards, who I will share with you in a moment. But I need to introduce my coworker, Brendan Smith, the Vice President of Business Development at Qgiv. So Brendan, would you like to share anything?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you for spending some time with us today. Really looking forward to covering some great year-end fundraising suggestions and topics and best practices with you. My name, as Kim mentioned, is Brendan Smith. I'm the VP of Business Development at Qgiv. This is my 16th year with Qgiv, and working with nonprofits just like you, helping you get the most out of the tools that are available to you and find success in all of your different seasonal campaigns and giving focuses. I think that's about it for me, Kim, so I'll hand it back over. If you have any questions, as Margie said, I'll be manning the chat, so feel free to drop them in there.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So as I mentioned, had to share them. So here are my St. Bernards. Here's the bunch. They're all rescue. They're not related. There's Molly, Primrose, Justice, Penny. Yes, if you're thinking that I have large dog food bills, you are absolutely correct. I do, but they're worth it. And I look for an excuse to share them all the time. So thank you very much. So now, you know, a little bit about myself, Brendan. How about a little bit about Qgiv and why we're here? Qgiv has been helping nonprofit organizations implement and grow their online fundraising programs since 2007. And as the importance of online giving has grown, our mission has remained the same. And that's to help others like you fulfill your passion to make a difference. And we do that through a comprehensive suite of fundraising tools featuring everything from donation forms, event registration, peer-to-peer fundraising, text giving with outbound messaging, and auction events. We are going to be covering a lot during our time today. So as Brendan kind of mentioned, we are going to cover some best practices and examples of great campaigns. We're going to make sure we're all on the same page as to what exactly is year-end giving. And we're going to do a brief overview of the Qgiv platform and integration with Bloomerang, and also a nice interactive Q&A at the end. So Marjorie, before we start, how about you do a poll? All right. So really just trying to figure out where you are in your journey here. Do you have your plan done? Are you still planning? Do you have nothing? Have you, maybe you're not a planner and that's why you're dialing in. And no answer is a bad answer. Just trying to kind of gauge the audience a little bit. So, okay. Well, I'll give it another second or two. It looks like right now, it looks like the folks that have responded are basically still planning. So that is a great thing. That's you're here. So I'm trying to end the poll there. So hopefully I did that right. Oh, Marjorie, I don't know how to end the poll to keep going.
Did that end it for you?
Let's see if it did it this time. Yep, looks like we're back on track. So thank you.
Sure.
So as I said, what is year-end giving? So year-end giving really refers to the rise in charitable giving during the last 3 months of the calendar year. And it greatly impacts nonprofit fundraising due to the rise in donations and awareness of each cause. So many organizations raise as much as 50% of their budget in December. And my question to you is, are you ready to be one of them? So year-end giving is great for a great opportunity for nonprofits to meet their fundraising goals. So consider your year-end ask to be from Giving Tuesday, which is the first Tuesday after Thanksgiving, through New Year's Day. As you're hearing and you're going to hear, year-end giving can have a huge impact on your revenue for the year. So here's some stats to put it into perspective and hopefully in your mind for your plans. Did you know that donors give about $48 billion during November and December every year? And that on average, nonprofits raise over $300 million online during Giving Tuesday alone. Nearly 1/3 of annual giving occurs in the month of December. The most popular month to start year-end giving outreach is November. And on Giving Tuesday, the average donation is just over $120. And 12% of annual giving occurs on the last 3 days of the year. These are absolutely incredible stats. Another I want to throw in there is that almost 60% of nonprofits make between 1 and 3 donor touches for their end of year campaign. So as we go through today's information, think about how many touch points your organization is going to make to see this kind of return. So the final months of the calendar year bring out the best in all of us. Holiday celebrations, time spent with family and friends. It helps us reconnect to the things that matter most, and it prepares us to start fresh for the new year ahead. And that's why so many people like to give to their favorite nonprofits during the end of year giving season. So generosity is running high, and people really are looking for ways to do some good in their communities. However, end of year giving can sneak up on nonprofits that don't have a plan. And that's why it's critical to start preparing early for a successful campaign. The end of year season is a busy one, not just for fundraising, but for us all. So with that, early planning for fundraising can absolutely help your team avoid stress and rushing, especially if your campaign involves hosting any type of event. As you're seeing on the graphic here, early preparation starts as early as the summer, but you don't need to fret. We're going to be able to do a plan with some of the tips that we share today, but plan on preparing your core campaign tools. So your donation form, your social media calendars, your email series that we will be discussing in a little bit. We've got great templates and guides to help you with all of this, and I will be sharing a bit more on that at the end of the presentation. But you should absolutely plan to communicate the urgency of your campaign to your audience. So start promoting it. Start saying, promoting your campaign in the fall months so that supporters have you top of mind, so that they hold a little bit of money aside for you. They hold some time for volunteering with you, so they'll remember you and support your organization. You can also market your campaign as a last chance to give before the year ends, encouraging your donors to act quickly or faster. Since end of year giving gives nonprofits the chance to pull in last minute donations, your organization should take the opportunity to identify how your end of year campaign will fit into your overall annual goal. And some questions to think about here. Have you raised more than your initial fundraising goal? Is it time to set a stretch goal? Are you under your fundraising goal? Or maybe do you need to set a more realistic end of year giving goal? This is also a good time to take a look at how your programming is performing and to review your budget. So analyze. I say that you can't know where your organization is going if you don't know where you've been first. So one of the best resources you have for planning this year's end of season campaign is your data, including the results from last year and previous years. So take the time to review how last year's campaign went and how you can improve your efforts in this year's present campaign. So here's some questions you and your team can think about that can help you. What was our goal last year? Did we meet it? How did the funds raised last year help us this year? Who contributed? How many donors did we retain? What went well with our marketing strategy, and maybe what needs to be improved? How can we better engage our donors in advance? How did donors respond to the different communications we sent them, the social media posts, text messages, direct mail, and emails? And really importantly, how were last year's responsibilities split up amongst our teams? And what needs to change this year? So as you ask, as your team answers this and you ask these questions, you'll be able to make quantitative and qualitative observations about your previous end of year giving campaigns that will help you rise to the occasion this year. Some additional things to think about as you're looking at your data. Your audience for end of year giving campaign will absolutely consist of both new and current donors. So to identify new donors, you really should first analyze your current donor list and figure out how those donors found you. And this in turn will help you learn where you can find more donors like them. However you find them, remember you do need to segment this new audience and cater your message to different groups' needs. And you can use your donor database to do this. So when you plan your marketing strategy around your donors' different needs, you'll be empowering your nonprofit to hit the nail on the head with every email, text message, or social media post that promotes your campaign. But don't forget to reach out to those existing donors either. Emphasize your gratitude for their past support and use impact statements to convince them that their help really is critical at this moment of the calendar year. So once you've divided your new and existing supporters into segments based on similarities, it's then time to decide what marketing channels you'll use to connect with those different groups. Here's a rundown of a couple different options: your website, email, direct mail, social media, TV, radio ads, billboards, banners, print materials, online ads, word of mouth, and text messaging are just a few. So jumping into text messaging, text fundraising is a powerful tool any time of the year, but it is especially useful for pulling in last-minute donations during November and December. And why is that? Well, text fundraising is easy for the donor to participate in. That means that they don't have to take too much time out of their holiday celebrations or get-togethers to give to your cause, and therefore it makes it more likely that they will follow through on their donation. So here's some tips for making sure your end of year text fundraising can go a little bit more smoothly. Let those donors opt in. No one wants to receive messages that they didn't subscribe to. So by letting your donors opt into fundraising text messages from your organization, you're enabling them to decide if they want to participate. And then this communicates that you're very respectful of them, and then it helps build your credibility. But also think about choosing an easy keyword. To opt into your campaign, donors will need to text a keyword to your organization's number. And so this is a great example on the screen. Boys and Girls Clubs of Indianapolis, they simplified it. They could have tried the full name. That could have been problematic. It's a long one, but they did great with text BGCI to 50155. So, keep that in mind. Plan, as I mentioned before, plan messaging for different segments. Different donors will need different messages for your text campaign. As an example, new donors will likely need a little bit more background on your cause and your campaign before they're convinced to give, whereas monthly giving donors will probably appreciate a straightforward set of messages that acknowledges their current giving and as they're already invested in your cause. And we are going to talk about social media quite a bit today, but definitely try using social media to get the word out about your text fundraising campaign. An idea would be to share an infographic with instructions on how to opt in and pin that to the top of your social media page or pages until your end of year campaign is over. Ask your supporters to fundraise for you. The great thing about your current supporters is that they can be the best ambassadors for your cause during end of year giving. So try setting them up with a peer-to-peer campaign so that they can then solicit donations from their personal network of friends, families, and coworkers. And here's just a couple ways to think about that. The first one, I'm a little biased, but Qgiv's peer-to-peer fundraising platform. With our platform, you can create customized fundraising pages and use quests and badges to gamify your supporters' experience. But we also provide you with personal fundraising dashboards for the participants. So check out this example on the screen from our friends at Brain Tumor Network, and they had a very successful peer-to-peer campaign using our platform. There's social media. I said I was going to bring it up quite a bit, but try encouraging your supporters really to share their fundraising pages on those personal social media accounts to get more donations. And just a thing to note, the Qgiv platform integrates with Facebook fundraisers if you are using that. Direct mail. Well, I say, who doesn't like getting snail mail around the holidays? So try mailing your supporters a batch of holiday-themed fundraising postcards and make sure that those postcards have a QR code and a link to your donation form. And then encourage them to send them out to their friends and family, kind of like chain letter style, and then watch those donations roll in. So with the right platform, you can get your supporters excited about earning support for your cause, and make sure to choose one that can help you gamify the process with virtual badges and fundraising thermometers and make it more fun. Speaking of fun, everyone enjoys attending an event for something that they care about. The problem with end of year giving events, however, is that many of your supporters have other holiday responsibilities and they just don't have the time. And also right now, some folks may feel uncomfortable attending in-person events still. So instead of hosting a traditional in-person event, try a flexible hybrid event instead. Offer virtual participation methods for those who can't or don't feel comfortable attending. And here's just a snapshot of a few ideas that you can think about. The polar bear plunge. I personally like this one. Having seen some folks at the beginning chatting about where they are in the country, that water is going to be cold. So in Wisconsin especially. So have supporters collect pledges prior to their jump into an icy river or lake, and then live stream the event for participants who prefer to watch from the coziness of their couch. Think about a soup cook-off. In-person participants register as teams, and then they compete to make the best soup. And then local live stream participants can then order a bowl of the soup to be delivered and then participate in the judging. Ugly sweater party. Well, have participants bring their own sweaters, and then you think about selling the craft items that they use to decorate them with. Make sure to mail out those at-home participants kits beforehand, and then everyone votes online that night for the ugliest sweater. Holiday concerts, a great thing. Sell tickets for a holiday themed concert put on by a local band. And then get your at-home participants engaged by collecting their song requests in advance and then having the band incorporate them into their set list. There's other, I like cross-country skiathon. There's so many different ideas out there, but absolutely consider the hybrid event. So jumping a little here to recurring giving. A recurring giving campaign may not bring in as many donations up front for your year-end campaign, but it will give you a steady and sustainable income that you can rely on into the new year. So according to our research, monthly donors give 42% more in 1 year than one-time donors do. So that means a monthly giving program is well worth investing in. And you can easily incorporate monthly giving into your current donation page as well. So check out this example here from the Learning Resource Center of Polk County. They included the multiply your impact, make it monthly right there. And by turning that on, they have seen great success in converting one-time to recurring giving. There's social media again. So as you're hearing, there are so many ways you can incorporate social media into end of year giving in order to get people talking about your campaign and sharing your donation tools. So here are a few options and examples. The top one there is from our friends at Pilgrim Pines, and they did a great video and then made sure they included all of the contact information to text in to support. Whereas Sojourner House down here, they utilized hashtags, which we'll talk about briefly here, but their hashtag, I'm with Sojo, as part of their fundraising campaign. And I believe they both utilized quite a few, if not all of these tips, using Facebook fundraisers, going live on Facebook or Instagram profiles, using direct messaging, sharing photos of your campaign events and volunteer opportunities, promoting that text fundraising campaign, posting videos, and videos are such an incredible thing to include in social media, and we'll talk about that as well in a little bit here. Tweet live updates, and definitely encourage supporters to use the hashtag, and the reason for that is because then it becomes searchable. They'll all be grouped together. So whatever strategy you do land on for your social media campaign, remember to consider your audience's needs and preferences, and then this will strengthen your brand on social media. Matching gift drives are excellent for encouraging your donors to increase their end of year donations. I mean, after all, with the opportunity to double their impact, donors will be excited to make the contribution go further. So to get a matching gift drive up and running, reach out to an individual, maybe a board member or a local business, and then ask them to offer gift matching. And then simply include the opportunity for donors to increase their impact through matching on your marketing materials. This example here from Rescue Mission of Middle Georgia is a wonderful example of an organization that set up a matching gifts drive specifically for Giving Tuesday. And this is just what their donation page looked like. So Showing the impact your donors are having. Your supporters won't be motivated to donate to your nonprofit just because it's the end of the year. They want to know that their donations matter, and they want to see the impact that they're having on your cause. So you can show that impact by sharing a human story, or this little example, a fuzzy story. But here's some storytelling tips to think about when you do that. Use a narrative to show a problem and then how you and your organization can resolve it. Tap into the audience's emotion, and then be descriptive. Expand on certain things. As an example, don't just say 17 truckloads of shoes were delivered. Describe the weather, the reaction, the style, and the colors of the shoes. Really give them the opportunity to feel like they were there. The example here, Brother Wolf Animal Rescue, they are incredible at using video to show their supporters the animals they were able to save, the specific animals, and to thank them. And it's really great to put that image into the messaging. So describing the impact and showing the impact your supporters have on your cause will not only make them feel valued by your organization, it will also help you inspire them to give in the upcoming year. Email. Well, creating an email series for new donors can help you set up to retain them into the new year and beyond, especially when you share their donations impact, as we just mentioned. So new end of year donors are a specific segment of your audience, and you really should plan your email series accordingly. So here are some great ideas of different emails that you could kick off a campaign with. Introducing them to your mission and who you help. Another could be just on historical and leadership information. How about specifically inviting them to follow you and your organization on social media? Get to know them better by sending them a survey. Provide info on gift matching and recurring giving, and feature recent blogs and volunteer opportunities. All of those are great content to think about as part of that. But when you are creating your email series, you really want to work with your team and decide ahead of time how many emails you're going to send and how often you're going to send them. You do want to be consistent, but you absolutely don't want to overwhelm your new donors. So each email really should be poised to encourage them to increase their involvement with your organization. So there's a lot writing on how you ask for these donations during end of year giving. And it's wise to take the time to revisit how to write a strong donation appeal. So let's just go over a few things from a recipe of a great appeal. Focusing on the donor first and foremost. Donations, no matter what the size, are often a sacrifice for your supporters, and they're choosing to give you that money to your organization rather than spending it elsewhere. So remember that, and then put your donors first. Recognize their generosity and their sacrifice. We talked briefly before about storytelling, but tell a story, even if it's a brief one, on how your donors have made a difference in the lives of your beneficiaries, and then how they can continue helping. Try sharing the story of one person or one kitty cat to highlight the human or fuzzy element of your cause. Using visuals. Pictures and videos bring your cause to life. So don't be afraid to use them on your donation page, in your social media posts, your emails, wherever you're able to. Visuals really spark our curiosity, and it gets us to dive a little deeper into what we're looking at. So it gets us to dive deeper into that web page or social media post as an example. Crafting a well-worded call to action. A call to action really is just a simple statement asking donors to complete a task. However, some call to actions might be a little better than others. We all see it, we all use it. Donate now, there's nothing wrong with it. But when you compare it to give today and help us wipe out cancer for good, there is a difference. Offer multiple ways to give or to get involved. Not every supporter is in a position to give monetarily, especially during end of year. So offer multiple ways to get involved, whether that's through volunteering or perhaps just forwarding your campaign information to their network. Use different channels for different appeals, and pay attention to what segments of your audience need from you. Some donors will respond better to an appeal in social media, for instance, maybe Twitter, whereas others are going to, be better solicited via a direct mail appeal. So don't forget to adapt your donation request and your language for everything to each channel's unique requirements. And let your supporters do the talking. Word of mouth communication is absolutely the best way to spread your nonprofit's message. And with online tools, it's easy to get your supporters talking for you. So here's 3 ways your supporters can spread the news about your end of year giving campaign. We already kind of talked about hashtags, but a strategically worded hashtag allows you to group all of your social media posts about your end of year campaign under the same umbrella. So those tags really need to be easy to remember and easy to type out so your supporters don't have any issues. So if we look at this example here, hashtag Quincy21, short, easy to remember, a lot better than hashtag Quincy Animal Rescue needs help now. And then each of your supporters really does have their own network of friends and family members that are going to be more likely interested in a cause if they know someone that they trust is involved with it. So provide your supporters with tools for great social media posts. Those could be templates for social media, perhaps videos that they can share, even a graphic like a profile picture frame that they can post in support of your campaign and your organization. And then email is a great way to get your supporters talking about your work. So make it fun by providing, again, email templates, but then offer incentives like free swag or a raffle ticket for every 5 emails sent out on your behalf. According to our research, 57% of people who watch a nonprofit video go on to make a donation to that organization. That is a huge thing. So I'm going to say it again. 57% of people who watch that video are likely to go on and donate. So this means video is really a great tool for your end of year giving campaign. And I want to point out that we don't have to be, graphic artists or photographers in this day and age. There's so many ways to go take these videos with your, mobile device and go on to platforms that, are free to nonprofits. One that comes to mind is Canva. And they just make it very easy to put in the video, to put in some graphics, to put in music, and then produce it. And it doesn't have to be high tech, is my point. But when you're doing that, there are definitely some great elements to think about, and that's the clear and steady camera work, good lighting, and then when you get to that stage, finding music that fits your message and making sure that your voiceover is clear and succinct. The example here from our friends at IRUSA is a great example of impactful videos used to inspire Giving Tuesday donors. And they utilized it very, very nicely, and well-branded donation page and landing page, really, really impactful. And also something to think about, don't let confirmation emails go to waste. They should be more than just a receipt. Instead of just providing numbers, make sure to also take the opportunity to thank your donors sincerely for this contribution. You can also choose to reiterate the impact that your gift will have on your cause, and then encourage future involvement. So some examples of things you could think about promoting also in these emails would be asking them to share their donation on social media, giving them a way to opt in to recurring giving program, giving them information on volunteering with your organization. But remember, donors don't want to feel like your personal ATM. So that does mean that a donation confirmation email is not the right time or place to ask for another donation. So edit your confirmation emails to ensure that they're not coming across too pushy, and instead let your donor choose how to engage with your nonprofit going into the future. So it's no secret that your donation form is critical to your end of year giving campaign. So if you do make changes to it, or you're going to create a new one, you really do want to make sure you test it well in advance, so that on your big day, you don't run across problems that could end up costing you donations. So here's some tips to think about for optimizing your donation form. The example at the top I want to point out first is from Columbia Christian School, and I think they did a fantastic job of optimizing their donation form, including, and I'm not sure if you can see it here, they included a drop-down option where you could direct the donation to. So the particular one that's showing is the annual year-end campaign, but they have other campaigns in there, like scholarship campaigns that people can select from. The example here at the bottom is from Community and Schools of Central Texas, and they use some simple images to get your attention to then ask supporters to pledge $12.50 for 5 months so that 150 students and their families could be helped with basic needs. Tips here to think about: make sure that your form is mobile friendly. Qgiv, if you're using our platform, we do all that work for you. All of our forms are designed to be mobile friendly. Share a story on your donation form. Don't be shy about that. Let donors, as the example up here, let donors choose from suggested donation amounts. Include that recurring gift prompt. Use a multi-step form to help streamline the process and keep that form simple, removing any unneeded links or options or content. And make sure, again, that your team tests your donation form well ahead of time. All righty. Analytics, everyone's favorite topic, because after an exhausting end of year giving campaign and holiday season, it's going to be so easy to want to move on and to not think about the campaign again until next year. But we do recommend you resist that temptation and you conduct post-campaign analysis as soon as your campaign ends. And here are some questions your team can ask to evaluate the success. Did we meet our goal? Do we still have more to do? How many new donors did we gain, and how did we recruit them? Was our division of task among staff sustainable for future campaigns? What marketing channel or channels worked best for getting the word out about this campaign? This analysis will set you up with the information you'll want for next year's end of year season, but you can ask additional questions like, what will we want to know next year before beginning our year-end campaign? Or maybe, what do we not want to forget about this campaign that could inform future campaigns? We've discussed campaign best practices and examples, so let's discuss briefly what Qgiv's fundraising platform includes to help you in your fundraising journey. Where to start? Well, if you are a smaller organization, our $0 starter package could be perfect for you. But perhaps you're further along in your fundraising, in which case our Giving Essentials package might be the best fit. It includes pre-built reports, custom dashboards and reports, advanced statistics, integrations, email tools, Zapier, FundHub aggravated thermometers, in addition to donation forms and event registrations. From there, you build your own program by adding and removing products like text fundraising or peer-to-peer or auctions based on what you need and when you need it. We love it when our customers share with us. So our friends at Joseph Maley Foundation enjoy the custom mappings for each of their Qgiv donation forms, events, peer-to-peer events, and auctions, and that the Qgiv and Bloomerang integration is automated, giving them more time to work on donor relationships and stewardship. So over the past 6 years, we have really enjoyed our partnership with Bloomerang, and together we exist to help people fulfill their passion to make a difference with thoughtfully designed, user-friendly fundraising software. Nonprofits can better target and personalize their fundraising programs by leveraging the donor data available within Bloomerang. And so we've made it easy to set up mappings for everything from donations and event registrations to auctions and text fundraising. So working together, we are dedicated and invested in making the world a better place through our work with nonprofit organizations like you. In our follow-up email that we'll be sending out to all registrants, we will include a link to the Bloomerang and Qgiv integration video. So please keep in mind, we do have more videos and documentation resources that help you with the Qgiv and Bloomerang integration on our online support center. And we have a ton of free resources on our website. And I know Brendan is probably going to jump in and share those with you. So Bloomerang also has a great Qgiv page on their site with an expanded version of the video that we'll be sending out. Got to mention the integration. Not in addition to Bloomerang, who we've talked about, we've got some great matching gifts, email service, accounting integrations to really help your fundraising go easier. So Brendan, do you want to jump in before we give our contact information and go to questions?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Kim. So as Kim was mentioning throughout the presentation, we produce a ton of resources for not just our clients, but just the broader nonprofit fundraising industry. Our goal, in addition to providing the software to help you do this fundraising, whether it's year end or throughout your different seasonal campaigns you have all year long, we do want to provide the best practices and help that you need to really drive that too from a strategy perspective. So I know for me personally, I do my best learning when it comes to real life examples and really going over and looking at something that I'm trying to compare myself to. So I did want to spend some time just reviewing some of those resources that we put together with you, specifically the page that I just dropped into the chat. It's our very dedicated Giving Tuesday page that I'm going to share with you now. Kim, it'll stop your sharing for just a moment, but give me just a second here. So in addition to some other stats that are trend worthy or based on trends from previous years of Giving Tuesday, as Kim mentioned and as we were discussing, our Giving Tuesday page really focuses on resources to help you be successful. We don't want you to have to go it alone, and because we see so many organizations, I mean, we've got 6,000 plus organizations using our platform specifically for Giving Tuesday in many years. We want to make sure that you have all those tools based off of our experiences and all of that, best practices based on our experiences with our clients. So these are some of the webinars and ebooks and templates that we have. I want to specifically highlight some of these text message, social, and email templates. These can seem really daunting, but it's a really important piece to make sure that you have a presence across these different channels for your year-end and Giving Tuesday campaigns. So I did want to make sure that we highlighted those before I jumped right into some examples. So these are all the examples that Kim kind of drew inspiration from as we were putting together this presentation, but we make this available to you also that when you're planning with your team, when you're looking at different ways that you can increase your fundraising at year end, you can come and view these examples. So I've got them all opened up and I want to just highlight a few best practices on these. They're all Giving Tuesday focused. Some of them are from previous years, but I don't think it changes the relevancy, right? So this one in particular, we covered on another part of the presentation. It's the Boys and Girls Club. Are you seeing the screen, Kim? I just want to make sure. Okay, I know it sometimes comes across funny. So Boys and Girls Club of Indianapolis did a great peer-to-peer campaign. We got some questions earlier from London and I think another member of the audience about peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer is incredibly powerful when it comes to extending your reach during year end. As Kim referenced before, you really want to empower your donors to feel comfortable and give them the tools that they need to become advocates and really outreach to their audience and their constituent base and see if they can generate some interest in your organization and supporting your organization. I know for peer-to-peer in particular, when I'm asked, I love giving to my friends. Sometimes I don't even know what that organization is. So as I mentioned to you, London, in the chat or in the questions, it's really important to be able to not just extend your reach through these tools, but also be able to then cultivate those relationships. And our integration with Bloomerang makes that really easy because every donor that comes in through your peer-to-peer system will ultimately end up in the same place that you're using and the same tools that you're using to cultivate those relationships throughout the year. So I really like this peer-to-peer focus. As Kim mentioned, they did include our text fundraising that can happen at the organization level. And I just think it's really powerful to really have these leaders, these community folks that are taking your brand and carrying it out to their friends and family and contacts. So that's just one peer-to-peer example here. Obviously, they make the Giving Tuesday brand ever present to maintain that consistency. But let's look at another example here of peer-to-peer. Slightly different in that this one had a matching gift component to it. So it adds that additional incentive for your donors and your supporters to go out and maybe ask that one more time to their social media audience or to their friends and family that they've imported. This one had a 250 donors gets a $2,500 gift match. So very powerful to pair the two pieces together. Just wanted to show an example of kind of those two different concepts coming together surrounding the Giving Tuesday broader initiative. Then we get into some simple donation forms. Kim mentioned it, videos are such a huge driver for folks, not just during the end of year or giving season, but really throughout the year. I can't tell you how many videos that we see that our clients have on their pages, like this one here for Smile Train, that just really touch you. And whether you know this organization or not, it's a likelihood, like Kim said, 57% of folks who see this video will go on to give. So this is a great example of a donation form having a video embedded, and then in addition to that broader explanation of what the organization does and what their mission is, this one does have a 3x match included. And another best practice, which if I scroll a little bit further down here, my mouse is not cooperating, is that they have these great impact statements too. So they're kind of combining a lot of best practices on this one. It's just a great example of them, again, pulling their different resources from different parts of the organization and focusing all of those best practices into this single form. So again, these are great impact statements to go with great visuals, which always drives engagement and conversions on the donation side. Just a few more here. IRUSA, Islamic Relief, who we mentioned, they also do a great job with not just videos and visuals, but really the storytelling. And I know that's an ever-present need for nonprofits to make sure that they're emphasizing their focus on their mission and really sharing why they exist for their donor base. IRUSA has a great peer-to-peer setup here where they're really taking a stab at at this homelessness or folks that aren't able to be in a warm home like we are. This winter, give warmth to the families in need. So it's a great call to action here with great visuals, a video, and then you can see as I slowly scroll down here, they just continue with the great visuals, making that true connection to what their cause is and what they're trying to get you all to help with. So I love that they reemphasize that it's warmth that we're trying to bring to this broader community that they support. The next one is another donation form where they do, again, pull at the heartstrings with great storytelling. They tell a story about Jose experiencing homelessness. And then, of course, they follow along those same best practices of embedding those specific impact statements. So they chose to apply what a homeless kit cost to their dollar amounts, so that as you're choosing these different dollar amounts, you can easily tell which, what number of homeless care kits that's going to provide for folks like Jose. So again, great visuals, great storytelling, and then impact statements based on those amounts. And then just one more here, I wanted to round it in with a local one that I actually have a place in my heart for. We've had family members go through Central Florida Speech and Hearing Center, and I love the way that they really present this. Not only does this have the great visuals at the top, but they are incentivizing it. So as simple as a quick $5 T-shirt that they can buy in bulk, they incentivize the $25 or more gift. They use a play on words with becoming a hero today, and then they also have those impact statements. So these are great examples that I wanted to make sure to share with you for those that are more visual learners. As you go in and you're planning and preparing how you're going to apply your tools to this giving season, take a look at these. The links in the chat, and you can always go to our website to find this Giving Tuesday link. Just whether it's our system or another system, make sure you're taking some of these best practices and applying them to see those better results that you're looking for this holiday season. I think that's it, Kim. I hope I didn't take too much time, but I'll hand it back over to you now.
Yeah, no, thank you, Brendan. I was just you said a lot of the things I was going to say. I just wanted to thank everyone for the time today and remind you that we really are here for you, that we do have unlimited email and phone support and training and all of those resources that Brendan mentioned. But really our content library, I think is second to none. We've got great webinars, ebooks, templates, blogs, checklists, and will be receiving a follow-up email with links to some of these resources for you. So again, thanks for your time. I'm hoping that you really have found this helpful. And I guess, Margie, back to you for some Q&A.
Yes, thank you both so much. There were so many wonderful just tips and tricks that you all shared today, and I'm hoping that everyone benefited from those. I know that we do have one question in the Q&A. So London was asking, if we upgrade to peer-to-peer, people can set up teams and we can also use text fundraising. That would be used on our social media platform. So I think she's asking, can people set up teams and can they use text fundraising, and could those be used on social media platforms?
I'm going to say yes, then I'm going to let Brendan give you the details.
You're right. That's the answer. Yes, London. So the peer-to-peer system does include. I think I answered another person's question in the Q&A. We really have two different parts of our text fundraising. We have the standalone text fundraising package that you saw as Kim was going over our packaging. That's really intended for use at the organization level. But our peer-to-peer, and I think this is where you're going with it, London, it does at the individual fundraiser level include the ability to spin up your own text fundraising code. So as an individual fundraiser who has my team and my individual fundraising page, that individual fundraising page can also be driven to through text fundraising. So there's that kind of subset of text fundraising that's used with peer-to-peer, and then the broader organization level where you can do outbound messaging, you can display progress towards a goal for text fundraising, and you can ultimately initiate a gift via text like we saw in that Boys and Girls Club example. So I hope that answers, London, the question that you had. If you're interested in learning more and kind of seeing all the details of that, we'd love to set up a demonstration for you and kind of walk you through that component.
Great, thank you, Brendan. I see also London is full of great questions today. She's also asking, if we do peer-to-peer, can we also use the text to donate at the organizational level, or is that a separate package?
It is a separate package. So we do, as Kim kind of mentioned, we make our packages more of an a la carte. So we're not of the opinion that many software companies are, where we don't really want to charge you for tools that you're not using year round. So we make our packaging very easy to upgrade into and then move back from when you're not using it. So in the instance of the campaign that it sounds like you're trying to formulate, London, if you wanted to do the text fundraising that's a part of peer-to-peer, you would pay for that package. But then if you wanted the standalone text fundraising that's at the organization level, that's a separate package. That the benefit being that you can use that on a monthly or quarterly basis as well, so that you're not committed to a long-term overhead expense if you're not using it or if it isn't successful. Now, the hope is that you can use tools like that year round, and it's a reasonable price for you to be able to stay using it throughout the year. But the idea behind it is for folks who want to try it and try out new things like it sounds like you're doing, to be able to get in without too much headache from the board or commitment from the board on a long-standing, maybe year or multi-year contract expense.
So I'm seeing some questions from Sally. Do you want to jump in there, Margie?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So Sally says that she's new and that their group has a Bloomerang account, and she wants to know if we can explain how Qgiv fits into Bloomerang. Is it an extra fee, and if so, how much?
Yeah, so let's just make it very clear. Qgiv and Bloomerang are two very separate companies, but we do partner very closely together. And the partnership, as Kim mentioned, we've established it for the last 6 years. We really work together to help Bloomerang users, and now Kindful users as well, gain access to the more advanced fundraising tools. So while Bloomerang's CRM components and outbound email marketing components, those are things that Qgiv doesn't do. We want to make sure that Bloomerang focuses on and shines in those areas of constituent relationship management, the true donor management side of the equation. Qgiv really becomes that offshoot for folks who do need forms that have a little something extra, or have that text fundraising component, or if you do want the auction management component or the peer-to-peer component that we have packages for those. So that's how the relationship kind of comes to fruition, Sally, is that we become that advanced tools on the fundraising side for Bloomerang users. And then of course, for our clients, they leverage the Bloomerang platform for what it's intended to be used for, which is the constituent relationship management side of the equation. Of course, Sally, it sounds like you have an account, or maybe you're brand new. We'd love to get you set up with an onboarding training and answer all of your questions. We do offer, I mentioned this in another answer, but we do offer unlimited training for all of our clients. So we don't believe in just throwing you out to the system and letting you figure it out yourselves. We'll do hand holding, we'll help you. We have a great help desk in addition to our customer success management team. So we'll make sure that you get set up and on the right track for whatever campaign you're choosing to run on Qgiv.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brendan. And I think that that really speaks to the fact that Qgiv is a trusted partner with Bloomerang, and we feel that we get a lot of rave reviews of the support that they give. And so we want to, say that it's a great partnership to be able to expand what your database and your system can do. So that's a great answer. Thank you. Are there any other questions before we move on?
Wow, we've got 6 minutes to go.
Well, but you did such a great job just providing clear presentations that it wasn't necessary for a lot of questions. I do have an ending poll that I think is going to be really pertinent, so I want to share it with you. I'm hoping it works right. I think our first poll had some glitches, so we're just wanting to know, would you be interested in learning more about Qgiv after you've seen this great presentation and learned a little bit more about how this works? Please go ahead and answer the poll. If you do answer this, we'll be able to get some information out to you and connect you with our wonderful partners at Qgiv. So any last thoughts, Kim or Brendan, before we head out?
I just want to kind of second something that Brendan said. Whether you're using Qgiv or another platform, absolutely get involved in end of year fundraising. Those that may be on the earlier poll that were maybe not yet planning or in motion, you've still got time. As you heard, November is the big outreach month. So October really, pull it together, and hopefully the resources that we'll send out and everything from today will help a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll second that. I'll kind of expand on that a little bit, Kim, based on our last experience doing a similar presentation with a group here in Florida just last week. One of the audience members I won't say he was combative, but he was suggestive in his thought process that maybe Giving Tuesday isn't as important as some folks like to make it. And I think some of the audience members here may have that mindset. I think the real emphasis for year-end giving in general, and specifically Giving Tuesday, is just make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have a presence when it comes to Giving Tuesday. You don't have to spend hours and days of time to make sure that you have some social media posts going out, and some of those low-hanging fruit, like I mentioned, that are on our website and our resources can help you kind of steer that ship and make sure that even if it's not something that you can dedicate a ton of time to, that you do have a presence and you do have a plan for how you're going to not only execute, but analyze, and then, again, look at it for next year and how you can improve. So I would just leave you with that thought.
And thank you, as always, Bloomerang. We love you. Thank you for hosting us today, and thank you for everyone for joining in.
Of course.
Absolutely. We greatly appreciate everything that you shared with us today. I think there was a lot of valuable information in this. And again, everyone, you'll be getting the recording and the slides, so you'll have all of these resources. I did drop the Qgiv link into the chat. Go right there and check out what they have on their site. They have some amazing resources that you'll be able to engage with. So Kimberly, Brendan, thank you for this. We'll see you next time. Everyone else, have a great day.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.